Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with Matt, the mortgage guy. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm excited for this video. I knew this was coming. I've been doing this a long time. We've obviously seen the mortgage market decimated, refis down 77%. Purchases actually up 8% week on week, but down year on year. And that means competition. And we are going to start to see pricing wars. So I think they've already started. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, this is really good news for the consumer. Really good news for people buying their first home. Really good news for investors. Really good news for anybody who's in the market to buy. I'm not secretive about it. Like, I've got this proud UWM partner shirt on. Yep. United Wholesale Mortgage, biggest wholesale lender in the business, did 230 billion-ish last year. Wow. So they got a lot of broker business from brokers like myself. They are the biggest. And so when they move, everybody else follows. They understand we're in a changing market and there's competition out there. There's less loans that will be written when we go from 4 trillion to 2.5. They want a bigger piece of that $2.5 trillion mortgage pie. Part of the way you do that, besides, customer service and client experience and technology and all the other cool stuff that they're doing, is price, right? And I think they've recognized, Matt Ishbia said it in so many words, pretty aggressive words, to be completely honest, like they're out for blood, right? Some folks are going to go out of business and that's okay. And so as of this morning, they took a huge cut to their price. He said, I don't care if I make any money. They're already operating on the broker side, especially since they're a public company. You can see their margins. I don't think they're operating like 60 to 70 basis points, where like you might not see it from a retail lender, like, Movement Mortgage or something like that, but they've got hundreds of basis points in margin because they've got corporate offices, they got middle management, they got all that stuff. So the reason why brokers are cheaper is because we're running on thinner margins. When you collapse that margin and basically, are doing loans for next to nothing, just gobbling up market share and watching some competitors go out of business, that is great for the consumer. Because I guarantee you, Home Point follows, Caliber follows, Remen follows. All these other lenders in the market are going to recognize that. And, one, it's going to put a lot of strain on retail. Some of these retail companies that just have big fancy buildings, they've got a branch manager, a regional manager, senior vice president, like those people are getting laid off. Like you just can't build in all that fluff in a market like we're in and expect to win. But more importantly, besides all that yeehaw just talked about, as a consumer, I price something today where you can get a 30-year fixed at 5.5% with next to no cost, no points being paid at all.
And if you were to do that last week, it would have been in the sixes.
Well, I think even when I priced that on Monday, a no cost 30-year fixed was about 5.875.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's come down quite considerably. I think, our buddy Jay Powell said some things this morning that probably helped the market a little bit too. So little bit of wind in our sails from Jay Powell. Plus this, he went through some conventional deals and FHA deals and, 70 basis points here, 80 basis points here. Bottom line, it's not just UWM. Other lenders will follow. And I know rates are up, so it's not like we're going to see 3%, but as lenders compete for business, you're going to see it come down across the board, right? Because they have to do it to compete. And, it's crazy to think, Mike, that like me looking at 5.5% money is like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Because some of the stuff was pricing over 6%.
Yeah.
And combine this with an earlier video we made where you pay some points, you might be sub 5% on a 30-year with a little bit of seller credit to buy down that rate.
No, this is where it's going, right? Again, it's about the market is slowing down for me in real estate transaction, which means buyers have the power. Video number 2, talking about getting the seller to pay points to get down rate. 30-year money was awesome. Now you realize that UWM is basically going to strangle the market to kill other competition, which means helps the consumer. 30-year money, time to get in. And again, we've all been hoping for a slower market. So as an investor, I'm ecstatic. I'm actually looking for seller finance deals, but sometimes 30-year money is the right way to go if the deal makes sense. So I like this. Where can people reach out to you and see what it kind of their rate might be, and then how many points they can get the seller to pay?
For sure. Go to greatmortgagebroker.com, get yourself pre-approved. I recommend that for anybody who's serious about buying anything. Get yourself pre-approved, get a game plan together. And, one other thing that I was going to add too is we've seen how out of control affordability has got. We know that there had to be a change. So if we go from 20% year-on-year appreciation to 5% or flat, and we throttle back and pull back on rates a little bit, like that's the fix. We knew we needed it, right? So instead of paying $550 for a house that was 500 3 months ago, you pay the same 500, you get seller credit to buy down your rate to 4.875. And now all of a sudden, you're in the game and it fits into your budget.
That's awesome. This is so much fun. I love this. Let's keep it up. We'll talk next week. All right.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Uh-huh.